1955 was a big year for the entertainment industry and fast food lovers. It was during this year that cars were so common that 9 out of 10 families had one. If you had gotten your first job during 1955, you would have been paid the minimum wage, which was $1 per hour. That paycheck may have also helped you pay for a ticket to see one of these teams: the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Cleveland Browns, the Syracuse Nationals, or the Detroit Red Wings, who were all champions of professional sports in 1955. In January, Buddy Holly saw Elvis Presley perform in Lubbock, Texas, inspiring him to play rock and roll. By the time he graduated high school this same year, he was already a popular performer on the local dance and club scene. On March 12th, legendary Grammy Award-winning jazz saxophonist Charlie "Byrd" Parker died of lobar pneumonia and the devastating effects of long-term substance abuse at the age of 34. He, along with Dizzy Gillespie, created the bebop sound, and his influence on jazz can still be heard today. On April 15th, Ray Kroc opened the first McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois. The price of a burger was 15 cents. The original McDonald's focused on its burgers, fries, and shakes, selling them for half the price and in half the time of competing restaurants. Starting her journey on May 3rd, Grandma Gatewood, as she became known, was the first and oldest woman to hike the entire length of the Appalachian Trail by herself. She was 67 years old at the time, and it took her 146 days to reach Mount Katahdin. Kermit the Frog first appeared on May 9th in the premiere of Sam and Friends. This was Jim Henson's live-action puppet show that aired in Washington, D.C. This prototype Kermit was created from a discarded turquoise spring coat belonging to Jim Henson's mother and 2 ping pong ball halves for eyes. In June, the popular television game show called The $64,000 Question debuted on CBS. Contestants on the game show boasted specialized knowledge in specific areas of expertise, such as spelling or Shakespeare. The suspenseful format of the show meant that they would compete week to week, building up their winnings until they reached the final round. The show became extremely popular, but the success was relatively short-lived, and it ended in 1958. In July, Disneyland opened in Anaheim, California. It initially cost $17 million to build. An invite-only opening was held on July 17th, but thousands more than expected showed up to the event with counterfeit tickets. Although Disneyland was not ready for the full opening on that day, the park recovered and was officially open to the public in the following days. The classic television show Gunsmoke made its debut on CBS during September. The popular Western starred James Arness in the lead role of Marshal Matt Dillon. Adapted from a popular radio show with the same name, Gunsmoke became immensely popular and ran for 20 seasons, making it the longest-running scripted show in the United States during the 20th century. The show featured several other talented actors, including Amanda Blake, Burt Reynolds, Milburn Stone, and Dennis Weaver. James Dean died in a car crash on September 30th while driving his Porsche. He loved racing cars and was in fact on his way to a race that day. His untimely death made him even more famous, and he remains one of the top-earning deceased celebrities even today. In October, the original Mickey Mouse Club television program made its debut on ABC. The show was a variety show for children and featured cartoons, educational segments, and shows like The Hardy Boys. The show also featured child actors as Mouseketeers, who would perform in musical and dance numbers. The original run of the Mickey Mouse Club lasted 4 seasons. On October 27th, Rebel Without a Cause was released. Directed by Nicholas Ray, the movie tells the story of a rebellious teenager played by James Dean, who comes to a town, meets a girl, disobeys his parents, and defies the local high school bullies. On December 1st, Rosa Parks made the life-altering decision to sit in the section reserved for white passengers on her bus ride home. Her refusal to offer the seat to a white man led to her arrest and the Montgomery bus boycott. The famous boycott lasted for 381 days and resulted in the end of segregation on Montgomery buses.